Hello, Duelists. I hope you're having an amazing day, and today we're going to be doing a tier list based on our meta and our rogue currently. What we can and can't play, what we should and what we shouldn't spend our money on. I'm Adore from Remote Duel Central, and if you haven't joined up yet, you definitely should because we got some free entry cash prize tournaments. The link for the server will be down in the description. The next free entry cash prize tournament will be between $50 to $100 for first place, as they have all been previously, and they're all free entry, so it doesn't hurt you to join. All you need is a camera, a TCG legal deck, and you're all set to play. Come on down and join up in the server. All you got to do is head into the tournament info channel, and we will have details posted there. Alrighty, let's get to this. So we already know Ryziel and Malice, for obvious reasons, are very, very, very great decks. I would almost be tempted to put Malice a little bit under, but Malice has still shown that it can compete and it can still take those tops from Ryziel. It does have a little bit of consistency issues with needing to either have Dormouse or White Rabbit in hand to really do your combos, but there's multiple ways to get to them. And almost same with Ryziel, but the consistency is just not a problem. You can play through any hand traps with this deck. You can with Malice too. Like, you can go through 4 imperms, no problem. But with this deck, the pops are what really set it apart from everything. Both are like $500 plus decks because we love Konami. Yeah. Honestly, the Malice with the Sky Striker engine, which I will put right here. I will say Sky Striker on its own is a good locals budget deck, and you can put it with other things, but it could also, with the Malice stuff, be a regional topping deck for sure. I do think that without the Sky Striker stuff and with the B-Seal stuff instead, I think that makes Malice a little bit more of a deadly engine, especially with the Fiendsmith and the B-Seal stuff, because then it just gets extraordinary grind game. I've even seen it play with Kashtira, which has a little bit more wins and success than the Sky Striker version. Now, on the contrary, we do got a few things here from last format that are just kind of like chilling. Like UL, I think is still a regional top deck. I don't think it's changed much. It lost the 2 fusion for the 2 Spirit Gates, and I just don't really think it affects the deck. I think it's a fair trade. Like, it gives the deck consistency, but it takes away from its grind game, and I think that's exactly what the deck needed, to be fair. Kashtira. Kashtira is like another locals deck, I'd say. The only problem is it plays into Nibiru and also plays into other hand traps very well. We don't have any sort of negate for the deck currently, and I don't think we're going to get a negate for the deck anytime soon. So until then, at least until the Dragon Roller stuff comes out, because I know that Dragon Rollers give us a monster negate and a spell trap negate if you place Dragon Rollers Kashtira. But other than that, I don't think there's going to be any way to do it there. Floowandereeze. I don't like Floowandereeze, but that does not mean that they don't have success. They do have tops this format, which unironically shows they do have a 0.42% win rate. So they got one singular top. They are fighting. So you might get it in locals. This would definitely be a fun deck to play there. But I just don't think it's going to be regional level. I just don't think like it's going to be like this one did win at a regional, but it was a 50-player regional 2 weeks ago, top 4, so it didn't even win. I think that it's going to be a lot of testing to make sure Floowandereeze can really show what it can do. I'll say Voiceless Voice. Voiceless Voice is another top strategy. Where's Centurion? We will put Centurion and the Voiceless Voice stuff here at the exact same time because I think that these decks are pretty much clones of each other. Oh my gosh, there it is. So these 2 decks just put up big 4K Oonga Boonga beat sticks. Honestly, I would say that Centurion is a little bit better and more consistent than the Voiceless Voice, but the Voiceless Voice has been topping a lot more because it has Purge. Purge is a great card. Honestly, trap card Ash Blossom, that's exactly what the deck loves. Snake Eyes. Rest in peace, God bless. You can play it at casuals, like casual levels. There's like I don't even know why OSS is the art here. It's gone. It's so sad. The deck needed OSS to bridge into level 1s, but now it just doesn't have it. Now, with that being the case, though, Rescue Ace comes up to local level as well. Rescue Ace is another deck that, with the Airlifter back at 3, it's going to save it in consistency. It's literally the hand trap for the deck. It was pretty much like taking Havness and putting it to 1. It was a very sad time for Rescue Ace, but with it back at 3, should go crazy. Should go crazy. We'll definitely need to see as it tops. But right now, we currently have a winning list with it, with just Fiendsmith. No Snake Eyes at all, just Rescue Ace Fiendsmith. So, hey, the proof's in the pudding. Ritual Beast. Ritual Beast is another good deck. I would put it below Voiceless Voice. It's not quite there. I'd even put it below Fire King. But, like, it's just not there enough. Well, where's Fire King at? We'll put it right below Fire King. Fire King still has more tops. And Olcanix is the reason. Olcanix is a great card. It's exactly what Fire King needed to get away from Snake Eyes entirely. Tenpai. You can play it as an engine and things, and I've seen it done. I will put it in the casual level. It definitely took a big hit. I just don't think it's going to be able to survive through the format unless it gets more support. Or more indirect support, at least, with like being able to put it into dragons and being able to put it into other synchro decks as just a little blitz going second engine. Other than that, I don't think it's gonna be able to survive. Vanquish Soul. It really depends on the pilot for this one because the columns do go crazy. You gotta know your combos. I will put it in locals as well. This is pretty much where our road decks are going to lie at. Heroes. We'll get to heroes in a second. Six Samurai. If you're playing this, just pick something else up. You're spending like $15 on this, but you could spend $15 on this, and you can spend $15 on this. Like once all the decks are the same price, and you're nerfing yourself down to Six Samurai levels, 10-year-old deck. I mean, it's a great deck. I love Six Samurai. I love it. My brother used to have it as a kid. I grew up with it. It's an old-ass deck, though. It's definitely way too slow to be in the format. Even with all the new support, it just doesn't do anything for the deck, honestly. Branded. Honestly, I don't think it changed any from last format. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I lost Gimmick Puppet. It sucks. I'm like, Ra's Disciple? Ra's Disciple? It does the exact same thing. And sure, we're still at that, one branded fusion, but that's already what we were at. We were already at one branded fusion. So we still just play the Grass Looks Greener. We still just play the extra branded and high spirits. We play the 3 Albion on the Shrouded, and you just search that thing. You just send it to graveyard and take it back from grave. You just go crazy. Omni Negate. This deck puts up an Omni Negate. I'm putting this at the top of casual. It's better than Snake Eyes right now. It is. It's honestly, Tenpai is better than Snake Eyes too. Omni Negate, top of the casuals list. It's a fun little deck. I've seen it picked up for like $5. People pick it up and then they make an Omni Negate with it. And I'm like, oh, you're losing. But it's cool to see. Spell Trap monsters. Does not die to Snake Eyes anymore because you're not seeing Flamberge every single game, but still just an Omni Negate engine, and it's a really slow one at that. Dark Magician, casuals, honestly, other keep it at home. I'll put it right above your Six Samurais. Bee Trooper, also keep it at home. Blue Eyes, we'll put it above the Dark Magician. Until Blue Eyes gets its support, I just don't think it's going to be able to do enough. And with it not having that new support, once we get the Primate stuff is already out, but Primate Blue Eyes still isn't enough. And once Primate Blue Eyes with the new support comes out, I still don't think it's going to do enough. It reaches them into their combos, but it doesn't reach them into doing stuff on your turn. You don't put up Interruption, which is unfortunate. It really is. And all of these decks are like $30 bucks. This right here, another $30 deck you can mix with multiple engines, Runic, And I would say that this is right above our Vanquish Soul and our Branded. You can put this with Orcust. You can put this with White Forest, which White Forest is a great deck. White Forest we will put right here at regional level. I have, yeah, White Forest is definitely regional level. And so is Memento. Where's Memento? Memento and White Forest are definitely super good combo decks in the right sense. White Forest, not as much with the Runic anymore, but with the Toy Box engine, still goes crazy. Memento, I haven't played against it much, but I know that it's dumb, stupid, broken. You play 3 of each fusion, you play 2 Guardian Chimera, you're playing 3 Aggregator, 3 SP Little Knight. You're pretty much playing a toolbox extra deck and just going full fucking Memento combo. Honestly, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. Junks. We're gonna put it again at the top of the casuals. It's not quite there at locals level. I wouldn't bring this to locals, but I can see it doing enough to where, like, if you really want to have fun, you could bring it to local. You could, if you really wanted to have fun casually, you could bring it to locals. That's what I see these decks as right here. These are like, you're going to see them at your locals. You probably will see a Kashtira player. You probably will see a Rescue Ace player. You probably will see a Ryzeo player. Honestly, we're going to take the Sky Striker engine on its own, putting it right there. That's perfect. Mimighoul. Doesn't do a crazy amount, but it is locals level. Having the ability to use Rune to set Dungeon is really good. Dungeon on its own is a decent card. Just saying, yeah, you can't normal summon. This deck reminds me of having in archetype TCG Mystic Mine. It's just like a really floodgatey deck, and also you can mix it with Pearly and Fiendsmith to really bump up your level 1s there and still be able to recycle through your Fiends. Heroes. I would say top casuals. You know, if you pull up a Dark Law against somebody, it's really nice. If you pull up against a DPE against somebody, it's really nice. But overall, I just don't think that the deck puts up dangerous enough end boards to really interact with your opponent. And I think that's what hurts the deck the most. Madolche? Is that what this is? Pretty sure this is Madolche. Put it at the top of casual. It's better than Heroes. This deck. Labyrinth. Okay, so Labyrinth is still a great deck. It's still Chaos Angel Turbo. It's still Trap Stun. It's still, you know, just don't let your opponent have any spells or trap cards, whichever ones you don't want them to have. It's definitely better than Voicelets. It's definitely better than Centurion. I would even say it's getting close to Yubel, but not quite. Not quite. I would say it keeps a comfortable spot right here as a second to Yubel. Third and fourth, the Ryzeo and the Malice. Fiendsmith on its own can be played as an engine in a lot of things, but I did not add it to this specifically for the fact that it's still, even when it's like topping as its own thing, it's always with something else. It's always with Kashtira, or it's always with Magical Muskets, or it's always with something. Dark World. Dark World's another casual deck. You know, you might steal one with it at locals. Ryuge. Ryuge turns Dinosaur into a full combo deck, turns Sword Soul into a full combo deck. It basically just puts up new Omni Negate. Ryuge is busted. And if you like just fucking stupid rogue decks that are funny, old decks, you would definitely have a lot of fun with this. You can play it with your Umi stuff for Sea Serpents. You can play it with Dinosaurs for Dinosaurs. You can search any worm. Literally, so the field spell says take one worm, one dinosaur, and one Sea Serpent. take them all, put one of them in your hand, put one of them in your graveyard, put one of them in your banish, and then right after that, the field spell says special summon the one that's in your graveyard, one that's in your banish, those two that you just put there, and special summon a third copy of the one that you searched to your hand, or that you didn't search to your hand, from your deck. Because you can search any worm or any dinosaur or any sea serpents. I can search like Oviraptor, search Moye, and just like leave the big guy in deck and then special summon him off of the field spell. And then once you special summon all three guys, you make Verugis. It's free Omni Negate. And if they don't interact with you, you're putting up a lot more. Because with stuff like Dinos, you're going to put up Lars, you're going to have 2 Omni Negates there. You're going to have Dolka with 2 Monster Negates there. You're going to be completely unaffected because of Miscellaneousaurus. You're going to have your Omni Negate up before you even get to your 5th summon. Before you even get to your 4th summon, it's going to be on your 4th summon. It's crazy. Ryuj is definitely better than Mimigal, branded, Sky Striker, fucking Ryzeal. Why is the name Vanquish Soul? Oh my gosh. Runic? This, that. I'll put it right here. Also, not only that, but it adds a monster negate to the deck, it adds a bounce to the deck, it adds a Macrocosmos to the deck, and an attack drain to 0 to the deck. Adds a pop to you. A 3500 Ritual Beatstick. I am currently playing Extra Foolish Burial, the Ryuj Rising, which is actually the art of this picture right here, and Mistva, which is the Ritual Monster, and that gives me 9 starters. Because you can send Herald from your extra deck off of Extra Foolish Burial, or Entis, if you want to get grind game pops, you can send Herald for that copy of Mistva. And when you get Mistva, it's GG's. It's 1 card combo. So I'm going to put it right there, right behind Kashira. It can definitely steal wins at locals. And I will be testing it a lot. Memento. Memento is still a great deck. It's definitely a little bit better than Ryuj. Its consistency is crazy. And it can still get tops. Nothing's really changed with the deck at all. I think the only thing that's changed is the amount of people playing it. Man. Yeah, these. When you put them with the Fiendsmith stuff, this deck becomes a lot better. And I've seen it do so. I would even consider putting it above the Fire Kings. Right behind Voiceless. Doesn't put up negates, but it is consistent. It can dodge any target interruption with the Chimera Fusion. Just being able to fuse your monsters away as a quick play from field or graveyard, especially after you like normal summon Gazelle effective search, Chimera Fusion, you're getting Chimera Fusion and using another Chimera Fusion from hand to get a fusion monster. You're going all pluses. There's literally nothing but pluses. Sharks. With it being level 4, it's a lot better now. I'm gonna put it right here. I don't really have to explain much. Ryzeal. Goblin Biker. Goblin Biker is definitely, I want to say, in between Fire King and White Forest. White Forest is better than Fire King. What am I talking about? I'll get that up there. And then we'll put this one right here. Man, with these last two, it's a little bit difficult. I want to zoom them out because I want to see what they are. Never really came across these guys before. Trying to see what decks those actually are. Is one of these Gimmick Puppet? Is that what this is? I think that might be Gimmick Puppet. Let me check. That is not Gimmick Puppet. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what these two are. But I also can't find them on YGO Pro Deck
for the top meta archetypes, so I don't think that they have any tops. With that being the case, if these are your decks, I am very sorry. Is one of them Plant Link? No. Low key, if I had Plant Link, I would put it. There's a few that are missing from this list. If I had Plant Link, I would definitely take Plant Link and put it in between the Goblin Biker and the White Forest. Not quite White Forest level, but it is a little bit better than Goblin Biker on its own sense. The only reason Goblin Biker I'm putting it up there is because there's so many Xyz decks right now, especially with Ryzeal being so prevalent. And another deck that I have failed to put up here is Atlantean. Atlantean honorable mention. I would love to put it like right above Kashira. I think it's better than Kashira. The reason why and the reason being is because it discards 2 cards from your hand, banishes 1 face up. If you use any hand traps, you don't want to use any hand traps because they also banish another card with Trishula, so they're making you go -4, -4. If you use a hand trap, that's all the cards in your hand. It's so stupid, and they do it consistently too. They discard 2 cards, banish 1 until the end phase, and then they banish another one off of Trishula. That's so stupid. I almost thought that the person who did it against me was going to summon an Omega and hand rip me for all 5 cards, and I was like, dang, that would be unfortunate, but it was already too late, and GG's because I already used my Ash Blossom, and he hand ripped my Imperm. Drytron is also not on here. Honorable mention, a little rogue deck. I would put it in the locals level, right below Kashira, honestly. It's better than, actually, I would put it below Ryuj and Melodious as well. It's better than Flu, but it's not quite better than those decks. And I think, honestly, that's all I got for this tier list. I hope that the meta kind of, broadens out a little bit more. But until we really get to see it flourish, this is what I have in mind for the time. I think that a lot of rogue decks are really good right now. All of these decks right here in this row can seal wins. And all of these decks on this far right end are super cheap. Memento is a little bit more. It's like it has a $20 card and a $15 card. Ritual Beast has a $15 card that you need 3 of, and a $5 card that you need 3 of. The rest of the deck is super uber cheap. Like literally, you can build this deck for like sub $50. Actually, I lied. You probably build this deck for like sub $60. Fire King is another sub like $60 deck. Goblin Biker is another sub $60 deck. White Forest is a little bit more expensive. I think there's 2 $20 cards, or a $15 card and a $20 card, which then brings up the price a bit. But overall, these 4, all these, Voiceless Voice is also really budget. All these are really budget. The Chimera deck, the Chimera Fusion deck without Fiendsmith is also really budget, but it loses a lot of its power. Honestly, this is where I believe it at. This is where I feel confident. If that's all, thank you guys for stopping by. Feel free to join up in the server, check out the tournaments, check out the Pink for Duel channel, check out the server, have fun. We want to see you. Enjoy the tournaments, and if you enjoyed the tier list, subscribe, shoot a like, shoot a comment, tell me what you think. Honestly, I want to see what you guys think about these decks too. And if I missed the deck, if I missed your favorite deck, please tell me so that I can bring it into the next video on the next tier list. Alrighty, this is Adore out from RDC, and thank you guys for stopping by.